house so loud, 3 boys running around, a baby girl so sweet, life's a hectic beat. Welcome back to our lovely chaos.
We are back for episode 7.
Oh my god, we are on episode 7. Yeah. Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7.
So, today we are talking about parenting. And I think we're surrounding the conversation around mom guilt and also non-dad guilt, if that's even a thing that we want to
non-dad guilt
that we want to brand it like that, you know. So this past weekend I went out with a few moms and we started talking about mom guilt. It just started as a conversation and we started talking about a lot of things that, you know, as moms we feel guilty about, and we all felt guilty in our own way. It's not like every mom feels guilty in the same way, but there was those things that obviously we kind of identified each other about. And I think, you know, we came down to the conclusion that they were saying things like, oh, I thought I was alone, like, oh, I thought I was the only one, like I was embarrassed to like say it out loud because I thought, you know, maybe that's not normal or whatever, you know, like conversations like that. So it came down to actually realizing that we don't talk enough about those conversations, not just in between moms, but also between maybe the couple, you know. And so we kept talking about it, like I said, and we kind of went into like a rabbit hole about mom guilt. And then I'm working on a project right now where that was my topic. Mm-hmm. It's about moms. And my topic for the whole week was basically based on mom guilt and how business women deal with obviously running a business, raising their children, being a wife, being everything else on the side.
It's women who are mothers, but they also have a career.
Yeah, that are professionals or
so
have a career.
There's those moms that don't have businesses, but they're doctors, they're nurses, they're teachers.
Yeah, so I guess like, you know, having to do all of that and how to like navigate like mom guilt through that and not, you know, not being talked about enough. So I think we got to the conclusion where dads don't have the same mom guilt as dads. And I don't care who you are, I don't care what you want to say as a man, but unless you pop that baby out of, you know, wherever that was, that maybe it can come out, because I don't know where it would come out through. You have no say of saying
we're not seahorses.
No, of saying that you have dad guilt, you know. And I'm not taking away that obviously you guys worry about things, you guys stress about certain things, but like we were having this conversation today in the morning, you know, how the kid gets hurt, and in my head, like let's say Alec fell down, right, and in my head I'm already thinking like, I should take him to the hospital, like he should get checked, like what if there's something wrong, you know, and this and that, and you just turn around and say no, he's fine. Mm-hmm. Right? So then we go on with our date. But then the mom guilt hits and it's like, what if something does happen? What if, like, you know, because I didn't take him in a few, you know, days, he has like a side effect or there's consequences, or, you know, that right there starts to mess with our minds as moms. Like that's our mom guilt that we're not doing what we're supposed to, or like maybe we're not being, you know, what is it, like caring enough in that moment. You guys are just like, they're fine, they'll survive, you know. Mm-hmm. It's just two different ways of looking. Same thing if like my house is not clean, I'm thinking like, oh, my kids are in a dirty environment, you know, like what if, you know, is there trash on the floor, is my daughter gonna be eating cookie crumbs off the floor? You're just like, oh, it's fine, like, you know, like, it's okay. Not that you're gonna allow them to eat cookie crumbs, like, off the floor, but if it does happen, like, there's no, like, guilt behind that. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you're not having that sense of, like, oh, I'm a bad dad because I didn't pick up the cookie crumbs. Like, I don't think you have that. Like, that doesn't happen to you guys. Maybe you guys have guilt if you're not making enough money, if you're not, you know, being there, maybe present enough for your family because you're at work. But we have so much guilt on the other side for so many things. And I feel like sometimes you guys, like, men don't acknowledge that. And, you know, and there's sometimes where, like, what is it called? Like, it goes on, like, on a defense of thinking that you guys are entitled to say, like,
that we're pregnant as well.
Yeah, like,
so, yeah.
Oh, I'm pregnant too. Or, like, we had another conversation, you know, the moms where it was like, oh yeah, I go through postpartum, or what is it, men postpartum?
I've never heard of that.
Or, like, men also go through something after pregnancy. Like, there's like this movement of where, like, oh yeah, men also have postpartum, you know. And it's like, crazy. How? And it's like, oh well, because, you know, if this is new to them and having to, like, you know, take care of, like, the wife and the child and go through all her changes, and, like, that's a change for them too. And I'm like, no, I totally agree that there is a change, and, like, there is some side of, like, oh yeah, well, he's new to the situation, and I understand that. But to say that he's going through postpartum, unless he's bleeding through his, you know.
See, I would understand about, like, the pregnancy part. Obviously not the same thing, but you do go through it to a certain extent. But yeah, I don't agree with the postpartum part.
Yeah, I
that's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And like I said, it's just a conversation that, like, we don't really have much of. Like, just even on social media, we kind of make it seem, especially like us, like Latinos, we were raised thinking that, you know, a woman stays at home, cares for their kids, you know, cares for the traditional you know, and, like, that's her job, which is a very, very hard job, guys. Like, being a mom 24/7 is one of the most draining, tiring jobs out there. And it doesn't get paid enough. Like, the pay is not enough.
There's this, like, I think it's a comedian, or it's somebody that basically tried to, like, to say, like, the actual jobs of a mom. It's like, they're a doctor, they're a nurse, they're a teacher, they're a chef, we're like, I don't want to say janitor, but obviously they do more of the cleaning than
we're
the dad
like
does.
Entertainers. We're freaking we're teachers, we're nurses, accountants, like, we're everything.
The escorts.
We're like literally everything in the book. And so we don't get paid enough, like I said, yet we are expected to not feel the way that we feel when it comes to mom guilt, you know. And so what was I going with this? I am so tired, guys. I slept at 2 a.m, and then
I know, I slept 3 hours. I woke up at 5.
Then
I went to sleep at 2, woke up at 5.
So off the conversation, and then I had a class. I not classy. I can't even think right. I had to go to school for my graduation informational session.
But she graduates next week.
Yes, and it was
she got her cap and gown today.
Yeah, it's so nice.
She's gonna graduate summa cum laude.
Cum laude.
Oh, that's how you say it.
I know.
Summa cum laude. Are you being nasty?
No. And
yeah,
so no, I'm not. And so I'm literally, guys, this is what I mean. Like, I'm extremely mentally loaded of tiredness, if that's even the right way you say it. So if, like, this podcast ain't making any sense, you know why? Because I'm off, but I'm still here
she's a sleeper.
Because
she needs her sleep.
Yeah, but I'm not a quitter, and I'm still showing up. But anyways, so maybe I can't remember, but going back to what I was saying, yeah, like it's just that conversation about like men, or this movement of, you know, trying to give like a weakness moment, if that's
a moment of weakness,
yeah, to men after a baby is born, and kind of saying like, oh well, they need support too, and I'm like, no, they do, but to not the same extent that we as women need. You know, we need more of a support system than anything else. We need more from the community. We need more from those around us. We need more, you know, and it's not easy, especially for those that don't have it.
It's kind of sad too that like sometimes you as women don't reach out to each other, or like you said, it's something you try to, not that you try to brush under the rug,
but we try to not talk about it because we don't want to seem like we're bad moms.
Yeah.
And exactly. Like, there's no such thing as bad moms. There's no such thing as there
is.
Yeah, there is. Let me take that back. There's no such thing as a perfect mom, and I go by this belief of your children are not wanting a perfect mom. They want a happy mom. Like, your house can be a mess, and like they can still be happy as long as they see you happy.
As long as it's you know, good hygiene.
Yeah, in the home.
It shouldn't be an issue.
But what I'm saying is,
there's no like crap all over.
No, I mean that's not.
Okay, but there's some people that live like that.
No, that is.
You should see some of these houses sometimes that I go into for these signings. Man, I have some stories, and
you appreciate your home is clean.
The quick, like, I guess technically it was 2. One was, it was disgusting. There was like cats all over. This lady was a hoarder. There was cat shit. It smelled like cat shit crazy. And I think there was cat shit on the floor. I mean, I couldn't be like, no, I can't sign. So I had to go in either way. But it was horrible.
You should have charged more.
I mean, this was when I first started. So I was still learning, you know? So.
Well, don't you feel blessed that you have a clean home?
Yes.
Exactly. See? And that comes from my mom guilt. Because then I'm like, oh, my husband has to come to a clean home. Well, then that's wife guilt. But you know what I mean? Like, I try to do the best, and I think guilt...
Yeah, because I try to clean, it's not the same.
No.
She has her standards, and... Yeah.
My standards are very high, guys.
Well, not just that in that sense, but it's like... Obviously, I try to clean to a certain extent, and I just can't. Like, I get frustrated, and then she comes and just does it like nothing. I'm like, what the heck? How did you do that? What is it, the stove? Like, that's the hard one for me.
He just can't. I come like,
you
what are all those
smudges spots? And all that
smudges.
stuff.
I'm like, there's still food right there. I can literally see it. But that's off conversation.
Well, no, it kind of coincides a little bit.
I guess.
Because it is like you said, mom guilt, and then we're kind of saying like for dads, it's like we don't have
like,
it.
I don't understand how it's so easy for like men out there to go out and not let your wife know, or go out and not care about, you know, the support your wife needs at home. I just to me, I don't get it.
Lack of communication. That's
because crazy. I'm just like, if my husband does not tell me where he's going,
or where he's at,
in the sense, or where he's at, you know, like, what if this gets kidnapped? Like,
and the crazy part is like, I mean,
or there's an emergency at my house.
Us as an example, like, we have each other's location, but still that doesn't give us the excuse not to
it's not like
communicate where we're at.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like it's a toxic trait. I just feel like it's just out of respect. You know, like, out of respect, letting each other know. It's not even toxic at all.
It's actually more love than anything. It's like, hey, this is where I'm at all times.
Where I was going with this is, you know, like, that's where, like, us as moms, we start to dwell on all our emotions and our thoughts, and start to think like, you know, all these things that we're failing at because we don't have enough support at home in order to feel, you know, what is it like?
Because I mean, when you say support, do you mean like from other moms, from like more of the community?
No, anybody, right? Like from because there's some moms that don't go out and or speak about it with like their girlfriends or even like their moms or any women that is a mom, right?
Obviously, you have my support, but it's like, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, but it's like I can talk to you about it, but you're not gonna understand it.
I can't really put myself in your shoes.
Obviously, you can like be like, oh yeah, I'll support you, babe. Like, and I'm like, okay, cool, and I know you will, but you don't understand it, and it's just nice to hear it. Like, oh yeah, I'm going through the same shit, and like it's okay, and you're gonna be fine, and and stuff like that. And I think like the fact that we can have those conversations, like I said, the project that I'm working on right now, they mentioned like mom guilt is our form of it's the form of us mom showing our love, and that's the connection that we have with our children, with you as my husband. Like that's the way we show our love, and that's our way of loving. That's just the way our minds and our hearts function. It's like I tell you sometimes, how I tell you, like I literally feel like I need to be there, like helping you guys. I need to be there so that you feel at peace, because I feel like if you feel at peace, then you're gonna work better. And then same thing with like the kids. Like I feel like their surrounding is good, and I feel like there's food on their plates, like, or food at the house ready to go. If there's food in like fruit, if there's what is it called, all the like the materials they need in order to succeed, like that makes me feel good. But the moment that I'm like, there's no food in the house, they're gonna start harassing me, like, oh my god, like we need to go to the store because I ran out of something.
It's not like we don't get enough food. It's just the way our kids eat is
they eat intensely, like intensely.
I don't know if we've said it before, but have we talked about it? Like how many times we have to go to the store to buy fruit?
It's like easily every other day.
No.
Twice a day.
It's like twice a day.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, there's times where I got to the point where I buy 2 bundles of bananas, and I hide one because they each have 6-7 bananas, and they would kill like the 14 bananas in one day.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So I have to start like hiding it at least.
Yeah, and like, and that turns into like an emotional like guilt in that moment, right? Like where I'm like, oh, they don't have fruit. And I know it sounds crazy because they just finished like 2 piles of bananas, 2 bags of oranges.
Like Alec, if he wakes up before all of us, he'll go to
Nobody
the kitchen.
will get fruit.
Nobody. He will kill 3 bananas and
5
3 oranges. Just
and
like
all the blueberries.
And all the blueberries.
Like it's
menace when it comes to fruit.
And so then my mom, like my emotional guilt kicks in, right? Even though I just saw him devour a whole bowl of food, I'm just in my head, like, right? So like I said, sometimes it's like that conversation that a lot of moms don't have, and trying to be perfect in the sense of like, trying to make everything into perfection and being there and whatnot. So I think like by us building a community where we talk about it, talk to your friendly neighborhood, like if she's a mom, like go over and just have a conversation.
And don't be afraid to ask those type of questions.
Yeah,
obviously everybody has them. They're just afraid to ask.
Like we just need to stop being afraid of being judged. Like we're gonna get vulnerable, and we're always gonna get judged no matter what, whether we're doing things the right way and being perfect or doing things not perfect. We're still gonna get judged. So do what makes you happy, but know that you need to find your community, know that you need to find like people you can talk to, and build on that, and find that strength you need through the community and whatnot, And so I don't know, like you as a dad, how do you feel about mom guilt? Like, do you think that's a real thing? Do you think like it's
obviously
all made up in our heads?
No,
like,
obviously it's a real thing, because, like, for example, I know it's a real thing because obviously if someone were to say it's fake, but if you as the mom think it's real, then it's real. You know? So how can I mess with your reality when it's your reality?
Yeah.
So obviously I know it's a real thing. The only thing, I guess, what I would say, it's like, it's crazy how moms even think that way, and then us as fathers, we are pretty, I don't want to say pretty strict, but we're more, I don't want to say realistic either. Well, I mean, you can say that, right? Because you said your brain starts thinking in a certain way that, you know,
well, because I think that's our maternal, you know, like, it's like our maternal, what is it called? Instinct to know.
Yeah, motherly instinct
to know, like, oh, you know, there has to be enough food, go get food, right? Like, there has to be enough of everything for them to be comfortable in their home. The home has to be clean.
Obviously we're talking about this, that's like, personally, that's how we think. Obviously other moms, well, that's and other why women I had said, like, think different ways. They have their own version of mom guilt. Yeah,
like we were having that conversation, like I said, with the girls, and it was, you know, four different moms with 4 different stories. You know, we were all striving to get to the same place, though, not in the same careers or anything like that sense, or like purpose wise, but we were all trying to get back to feeling us. Like, we're trying to not feel guilt about every little thing.
Let me ask you a question though. Is it technically feeling you? Because, I mean, in reality, it's not really feeling you anymore. It's because since you went through. Oh no, I think like when so I'm is it more really finding yourself, right? Yeah. So yes, you said it better. So not finding the old us, but finding the new us, and like what makes us thrive and what makes us, you know, feel. It's like, obviously you're single, you only worry about yourself. Yeah. Or sorry, let me start over, since it's talking about moms. Obviously you're childless, so you only worry about yourself, and if you decide to worry about your husband, then you have a child, now you're worrying about the 3 of you, but then you have another one.
And then you add more to it.
To the pot. There's more kids.
Yeah, and I literally came down to the realization that it starts with self-love. So mom guilt, I think we lose it in the process of becoming so involved as a mom, trying to be perfect, trying to, you know, be present, trying to love, you know, our most to that little human that we have created, which we love, obviously. And then, you know, what is it? Nutrients? No, not nutrients. Like nutrirlo, you know, like nourish him. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah. And nourish him. And so I think like that process is just very, like, you lose yourself in that. Like, you lose yourself in that whole equation and mixture, and then, you know, you go through postpartum depression, you go through hormonal change, you go through all these changes as a woman after having a baby. And so once you hit that part where you're like, okay, I'm starting to get out of these hormone changes, and I'm starting to because it's crazy that you go through 9 months of and I was just hearing a podcast actually with Hailey Beaver, where she talks about Beaver. I said Beaver, sounds like oh my god, Beaver. Where she basically talks about how, you know, there's these, like, you know, same thing where we don't talk enough about it, where we think that just because of 40 days, what we think is like, okay, now you're back to like being able to be yourself and feel yourself. No, it takes at least a year for your body to completely heal. So just imagine that, a whole year. I mean, it can be longer, because I mean, you've been saying last time you told me it was like 2 years. No, so for like your uterus to heal, it's about a year.
Oh.
And then after that, then you go through another change, obviously, of your body kind of saying, okay,
that's true, because I mean,
there's no more
for
baby,
the most
you've
part,
healed. Yeah.
mothers breastfeed for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
and especially if a mom is breastfeeding, it sometimes takes them longer to heal because they're depleting nutrients. So once she's
still getting the life sucked out of you to
yes,
a certain
basically
extent.
And so then she's like, you know, and usually by the second year, then that's when like you start to feel like, okay, like I want to be sassy again, you know, I want to be myself, or I want to discover myself again. And so, you know, motherhood is very empowering. But like I said, being able to have these conversations and getting together with your girls, or you're sitting down with your husband if that's your girl, you know, like there is those husbands that, you know, they're your girl, what is it, your bestie, but it's your husband.
I'm
totally
her bestie,
fine.
but I'm not a girl.
Yeah, it's totally fine. But obviously have that conversation like, hey babe, like I feel like this, and maybe that will open to having in like understanding from your partner of where you're coming from, you know, and that way you're not just living in your head, and you're not, you know, not being, what is it called, like outspoken about how you're actually navigating this journey that is motherhood. Because like I said,
you have to be more
for
outspoken.
men, I give it to them, they're having to, you know, hustle out there and make their money and whatnot, right? Like I totally get it. And for a lot of men that can feel like pressure, right? But what we go through, you can't almost, you can't just say, well, like I'm out there hustling. Well, yeah, we're out here hustling. I'm out here in here, you know, raising your children, keeping your home, learning how to be a mother and a wife all at the same time. Because a lot of us don't, you know, like when I started with you, like I didn't know how to cook. I mean, I knew how to cook certain things like enchiladas. My favorite that we ate for almost a year, spaghetti with ground meat. It was so good. That does sound good, so good right now. You know, all those things, like I didn't know, and you were very supportive through the way of like eating that every single day almost, right? Like, yeah. And then, you know, I started to know like, hey, I don't think it's healthy for us to eat pasta. I was good on the grill too, so I mean, we didn't just eat spaghetti but that was like my specialty, you know, and enchiladas verdes, you know. And then eventually Julian grew, you know, a year, 2 years, you know, he was starting to be like, oh, I love food. And like my Sarah's a big cook, like she cooks some bomb ass food, right? And I'd be like, oh, like I wish I could cook like that for my kid. So then, you know, I started to teach myself slowly but surely, you know, and I learned how to cook. Now I know how to cook birria. Like now I know how to cook so many things and do so many dishes, and my kids love them, and they enjoy when I cook, you know, carne con chile, or I do what's the other one that they're always like carne empanizada and rice and you know, sopita, and like all those things where they really love my birria, they love my pozole, but that's too much work every day. Yeah. And so yeah, like you learn, and then you learn how to be, you know, a wife, and you learn how to be a mom, and it's a process. Like nobody is perfect when you are starting to be a mother. Like it's almost impossible for people to expect that, no matter how old you are or how young you are. Like that is like something new. Like nobody can prepare you for that, especially because you don't know how your body and your mind's gonna react once that baby is here. Because you can be like a freaking psychologist with all the degrees and all the knowledge, all the theory, it's just theory, about how to create the perfect child and stuff like that. But guess what? You didn't learn how to take care of yourself while trying to do that. Which is crazy though, because when I was working at one of the mental health schools, the therapist herself, she's like, I know how to teach others to like change their behaviors for their children, but my little girl's just very like the opposite of what like I teach. Yeah, it happens all the time. Like even like let's say, I don't know, like somebody that's a doctor, you know, once their kids come, I've heard stories where it's like, you know, like I freak out when my kid gets sick, or like, you know, like I don't know what to do, and I'm like, aren't you a fucking doctor?
Yeah.
You know, it's like situations like that. I mean, I've heard stories. I don't know.
I mean, it's because it's different, because obviously when it comes to your
or like it's not the same thing to, like, you know, they're giving the news like, oh, you know, your kid has a cold, and they usually would tell the parent, but you know, calm down, it's just a cold. But then when it happens to their kids, they're like, it could be an, you know, what if something worse happens, or like that? And they start to go on overdrive, and it's like, that's what I mean by like your brain goes to overdrive when you are a parent. So I mean, it's just that. So that was the start of the conversation that I wanted to start with mom guilt, because I feel like that takes us to the place of parenting. And how did we navigate all those emotions to finally be able to parent the way we parent, you know? And I think my way was, I stopped trying to be perfect. I repeat that all the time. I'm not a perfect mom. And I'm not one where like you'll see me, you know, what is it called? Have my kids always, you know, being perfect kids. Like, kids are gonna be kids. Kids are gonna be kids. You know, and I'm not the mom that's maybe here every single day. Like, I go to school. I have work. I do this, you know?
Wait. You don't go to school no more.
Oh, well, I used to go to school.
For 3 years. Yeah,
for 3 years, you know, and I had jobs, and I am done, guys. Thank God. And I had jobs, and I have projects, and I have all these things, and I could have sat there and felt guilty and felt like I wasn't doing enough for my kids. But the moment I realized that no, my kids are actually happy. They're running around. They're laughing. They're playing.
It's like they say, they kind of don't really pay attention or to really understand.
No.
To a certain extent. Because obviously there's like, oh, we're staying with grandma.
Yeah, like the other...
That's it, you know? It's like, and mom could be at school doing everything, but it's like, oh yeah, I'm just staying with grandma.
Yeah, and they love staying with grandma, right? And so, like I said, I used to feel guilty, and before my whole journey of changing and being a better version of myself, I guess you can say, or the upgrade, I say the upgraded version of myself, because I learned that, you know, we go by levels. We are not better than yesterday, and if we're in that mentality, then we're never going to get to the next level, if that makes any sense. So life is about like Super Mario, right? Like there's levels, like, and I feel like I'm in that level where I'm about to, you know, find the golden treasure. Like I'm at that level. The golden star. I don't remember. I didn't really play that much of a game, or if I did, I'm starting to forget it. But anyways, so like I said, so I started to realize, like, once I started to do that I needed to stop trying to be perfect and start being happy and start worrying about what made me happy, you know? And that was obviously my kids, obviously my husband, and obviously what I put in between that has made a difference was God, right? But trusting God and his plans for me. So that being said, you know, me talking to God and saying like, God, what is it that I need? And it would always come back to like a voice, you can say. I don't want to say a voice because I've never really heard voices like that, but a feeling of almost like self-love. Like, you need to be self-love. And what does that mean? That means like us as moms, and even you as dads, but especially as us as moms, that we do so much for our family. Like, take care of yourself. Like, take yourself for a coffee, even if it's for like 30 minutes to the Starbucks in the corner. Take a small walk to the corner, make yourself a coffee at home, make yourself a tea, go outside for like 10 minutes and just sit outside like a chihuahua in the sun. Like, anything that brings just some type of peace, serenity, you know, all that to you.
For the most part, it's more for guys, like when you're taking a dump.
Oh my god, I've heard that. And thanks to Aaron Van Heineken, I will never forget that, because we were having this conversation of where I was like, he always takes forever in the restroom, and then he's like, Natalie, you don't understand. That is a moment a man is releasing all his emotions and stress. And I'm like, what? He's like, so if you ruin that moment, you have now clogged him. And I'm like, why do you gotta say things like that to me? Now that's all I'm gonna think about.
That's a good analogy though.
No, and he was like on a good one too. He was like pretty drunk, so he was deep talking or shit talking, to say the least. But anyways, so that's how I learned to get out of that, right? And so then I started to find myself again and know, like, hey, what is it that I want to do? I know my kids one day are gonna find a great wife and a great husband, and they're gonna do their lives, and and I'm gonna be here with my husband, which I love, and I want to travel with him, and everything. But I wanted to do something where I felt like I had done accomplished, or I had created something personal and professional, if you want to say it like that, because I had already created life. I had already created humans. I nailed that. All my kids are perfect. In my eyes, they're perfect. We
already established our animal instinct of procreating, and we did it 4 times.
Yeah, like they're perfect in my eyes. Like God made them perfect, and He knew what He was doing with them, and I know they are destined for greatness, right? So going back to that, so then I started working on myself, obviously working through God, through prayer, through meditation, through finding myself at a deeper level. And that's when my mom guilt started to disappear. I started to care about myself, and not that I'm saying that I didn't care about you as my husband, but I stopped trying to make it so that I was a perfect wife, because I'm already perfect. Like, in my own way, we're all perfect. That's actually kind of wrong too, but we're our own best selves for each other, right? At times, like, at least in my case, I'm not speaking for everybody, I'm just speaking in my case. And I did that because I worked on myself. I worked on myself as a mom, I worked on myself as a woman, I worked on myself as a wife, because I wanted to be the best version of those 3 to everyone around me. And so I kept going, and I wasn't gonna give up until I got to the point where I felt like even the slightest thought of me creating something was turning into my reality, because I was that in tune with myself. And so like I said, so that happened. And like I said, sometimes that mom guilt comes in, where it's like, oh, like, am I putting too much into my work? Am I forgetting about my family? Because it still comes to me. Don't think that I don't have mom guilt, guys. Like, even though you see me on social media where I'm just like, yeah, and I'm like over there having tacos by myself or out in LA, like, believe me, I'm feeling guilty. But I ask my kids if they want to go, and they say no. They're like, no, I want to go with grandma. And I'm like, well, we're gonna go somewhere fun. No, I don't want to go. I don't want to be stuck in traffic. And I totally get it, right? But then sometimes I kind of just force them. They have a blast. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna force them. But back to what I was trying to get to is, the other day I woke up and I was working, and I'm working on a few projects. And so I wake up and I like go to the laundry room, and Julian's like just in there doing his homework in class, and he like looks at me with a big ass smile. He's like, what are you working on?
Iker.
No, it was Julian.
Oh, it was Julian?
Yeah, it was Julian. He's like, what are you working on? And I'm like, what do you mean, what am I working on? Yeah, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, my work? I'm working on my work, on my project. And then he's like, oh, and you're not gonna work on rolling with Dolan today? And I'm like, but like with a big smile, and I'm like, yeah, I'm working on that too, but that's more like later on in the day. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, why are you asking me what I'm doing? Like, he never asks me those questions, right? But the way he was asking me, he had the biggest smile on his face. He was like almost, he was giving me that look like he was so proud of me without even saying it. Like, I knew he was like, okay, Mom. And then I was like, why are you being so nosy? Like, you know, because I like, you know, we always play around like that. Yeah. He's like, I'm just asking, Mom. And he's like, I just want to know what you're up to. Like, I like to know what you do. Like, it's so much fun. And I'm like, and so, like I said, just him giving me that smile, that approval, it made me know that my kids are seeing that what I'm doing is fueling me, and that's fueling them. Yeah. Because now I see them becoming more aggressive with what they want.
With what they want.
And I love that. Like, I love to see that. So, like I said, I think parenting is the easy version of like of showing that parenting is as easy as you becoming the best you can be for your kids, and then they're just gonna be little replicas of that, right? So like they're
replicas in their own way about reaching to try to succeed in their own goals.
Their own goals. So that made me happy. Like that made me really happy. And I just love that they're always like, you know, talking about all the things we're doing, and they're excited to hear about it. And they, you know, like I said, they love Rolling with Olin, they love Jeff Olin. And so to me, it's like so exciting to see that. And like I said, parenting, nobody teaches how to parent, you know, like our parents didn't know, and now I understand at another level that our parents didn't know what they were doing, and in a way, you know, they were learning as they went. And
especially for in a different country, it's like a different customs, and then you can probably use the same ones, but it's not the same,
you know. So it's
because technically you can't use the same customs.
No. So I guess, like, do you feel like you as a dad, you're doing what you need to do?
Obviously there's a lot of room for improvement. I know for that for a fact. And I mean, sometimes like I feel guilty when I can't do certain things.
Remember, there's no dad guilt. Huh? Just kidding. There's no dad guilt.
Oh.
You just feel guilty.
Yeah, I just feel guilty that, you know, sometimes like, hey, can we go to Universal? Can we do this? I was like, well, not yet, but, you know, it's like, it's just not being able to do exactly that right at that time, because it's not the time yet, since it's not, you know, I'm not balling just yet, but I will be soon. And, you know, just being able to take him out and, you know, travel the world, like that would be the cool thing to do.
So your dad guilt is not being able to take him to Universal?
No, like travel, like just do all the fun stuff right away.
Because you said to take him to Universal, and I'm
that
like,
was the example.
You took them for a whole year. You got him a pad.
That was an example. Yeah, that was that year. But what if they wanted to go to Universal right now, today, and then Disneyland tomorrow?
So you mean like on demand?
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
I was like, well,
I mean, growing up, I went to Universal twice, and they've been there 5 times already. To Knott's, I've been twice, and they've been there like 10 times already.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, our kids have
Disneyland. I've been there probably like once growing up. Yeah, once, and they've been there like twice. Well, Ika's been there twice. Julian's been there twice. 3 times. Alex's been there once. Eliana's been there once. Obviously, they're younger, so.
But do you think, like, either way, like, you've navigated that sense of like being a new dad and learning how to parent all at the same time?
What do you mean by being a new dad?
Yeah, like when you first had Julian, and like you had, like, I know you have a lot of kids, and like you're like, which one?
I was like new dad.
But like when you became a new dad and like having to have that guilt, like how did you navigate that in the sense of like,
I mean, like you said, there's no dad guilt, but it's like there's no guilt at all. I mean, obviously there's things that you have to provide.
How did you navigate how did you navigate
Well, I can't. It's not just worrying about myself anymore. It's worrying about you and him.
no, but parenting, like how did you navigate parenting through that?
Well, parenting, it's like, obviously you always want to try to implement how you were implemented and what worked for you and what didn't work for you don't use. So I always said, like, what I mean, if I have to spank my kids, I will do it, right? Which I did. I still kind of do, but it's only if it's necessary. Like before, like me growing up, it was like, no, it's like kind of constant type of thing.
No, we didn't get spanks, we got beats.
I was trying to be nice.
Well, no, don't try to be
nice. Okay, I'm trying to compare it because like we don't really do that with our kids,
Well, yeah, we don't hit our kids. We spanked, like les damos una nalgada, but a mí me pegan con el cinto. Like I used to get, I mean, I don't think what is it, protects children, what is it, CPS is gonna come from my parents anymore, but like they used to hit me with the belt
past the statute of limitations.
The statute, my dad used to like hit me with the belt, like for lying or something. Like my kids get grounded, like that is two different worlds. So that's not even like, what is it called, it's not even a realistic scenario of what we went through, right? Like yeah, it was bad, like how our Latin cultures raised us in that sense. I mean, then again,
it's like I said earlier, I mean, it's the culture difference.
No, yeah, but then again, like Mexico, it did build stronger humans.
At least my parents grew up in the ranch, like farms, cows, chickens and all that, so obviously they had a lot of kids so that they can work the fields. And then you come to the US, which is like a lot more city. So you can work the field. Yeah, it's the truth. Damn, though. That's what true. They used to do, because I mean they had a lot of.
I'm a city girl.
I know. Oh. That's what I was trying to say. Like the difference in like the parenting part. When we first had Julian, like our parenting was completely different. She wanted to do certain things a certain way, and then I'd try to do things a certain way, and obviously we would clash in certain aspects. But then we learned how to, coincide and agree on certain things. Yeah. So that was always the hardest part in the beginning. Now it's obviously pretty easy. There's still some things obviously that we need to work on, but I mean,
do you think though parenting has become easier though to you, obviously after so many kids, and
with the boys, yes, but with
Eliana's not gonna get any easier. She just has you wrapped around her finger.
Well, that's the thing. She keeps, my wife here keeps not blaming me, but keeps giving me shit because of that I don't spank her or I don't treat her a certain way, but I keep explaining. I don't know if you fathers out there will agree with me, but I learned it from Steve Harvey. I was like, dang, that is a really good way to put it, like perfect, right? Like he's not gonna put a hand on his daughter because he doesn't want another man, like when she starts dating, to to put a hand on her. Like she's not gonna allow it because she didn't get hit or spanked, right? So that's why I was like, you know what? That's true. Like, I don't want her to think it's okay to get hit or spanked. So I'm never going to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't. But I mean, one thing is like, I'm not asking you to like,
But see, that's the other thing though. Like we've talked about, you are me. Look, I am more patient with them than you are.
No, yeah, I totally agree. But the thing is that I'll be like, hey, tell her something. Mi amorcito, mi amorcito. I'm like.
Yeah, she said, yeah, okay. Yeah, in her defense, she's right. When she says, hey, tell her something, I look at her and I say something.
And then you melt.
It's true, don't I do that? I do tell her something.
But when I'm like, can you talk to her? And you're like, mi amor, mi amorcito, mi. And
all right, I don't talk to her like that either. But
yeah, you do. Have you not noticed you baby talk to her?
No, I don't. I say mi amores, mi princesa.
Okay, you give it a stronger
Eliana, are you
tone.
My princess?
She goes, yeah, and then he'll do this thing like, Eliana, are you my princess? And she'd be like, no. Are you, Aliana, are you daddy's princess? No. Will you be my princess tomorrow? Yes. And I'm like, she's playing you. Literally playing you.
Okay, but the days that she
and
does
now
say
he's
yes,
gonna say Steve Harvey said.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. But on the days that she actually says yes, it's like okay, and then she gives me a hug and a kiss, and I was like, come on, it doesn't get better than that.
See what I mean? Like, she just has them wrapped around his finger.
I've told you, if you want to get treated the same, you gotta do the same thing.
Oh, so I don't get treated the same?
Huh? Well, yeah, but you you give more attitude.
Oh, wait till she turns 13. We'll come back to this conversation.
I'm gonna
cut this clip.
You've said it yourself that it's gonna be crazy. What have you said? That when she gets older, I mean, you said it too the other day. ¿Cómo dijiste? That it's gonna be me and her against you, something like that. Like that we're gonna forget about you. Obviously, I'm not gonna forget about you.
Sure, that's what they all say.
You know.
So I guess bottom line to this conversation,
we're gonna be like, who's that lady following us?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it, but it's okay.
No.
As long as that credit card is still mine, we're good. I'll be like, see you later. But going back to the thing of parenting, like the way that we parent now, I think has changed a lot because of our growth. Yeah. So I think like I was mentioning, as long as you work on yourself as a human or as a person, you put God in the process of it. Like, our kids will not start eating if we don't pray. And that like fills my heart because now I know that
even
they're putting...
Liana, she's only 2 and she's like,
pray.
Mommy, pray.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay.
Or Alec too is like, pray.
Like, Ike today, he made me feel like it really bad. Like, I was running, because I needed to get to my informational session, and he's like, and so like I put a bite of egg in my mouth, and he was like, Mom. And I'm like, what? He's like, and he literally looked at me like I had just murdered somebody. He's like, you did not pray. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm going.
It was pretty funny.
And
like, oh, snaps.
You heard him how he said it, and I'm just like, oh my God, okay, I'm so sorry, I apologize. Like, it makes me happy, but like, he made me feel bad. And so I'm like, okay, so that's how your kids are seeing that God follows. Or like God is first, right? And we follow, because that's the only way to be good humans on this earth. And so, yeah, parenting became easier once we did all those things, right? Yeah. I'm not saying that mom guilt isn't real. I'm not saying that dad guilt, which is not a thing, guys, isn't real. But what?
Wait, you just did a double negative there.
That's what I'm being sarcastic. I'm like saying dad guilt, but it's not real. Like, I'm trying to give you guys the benefit of the doubt. I mean, you never have said that, but I know a few people that have. So I'm like, no, you guys, no. Like I said, unless you birth a child and went through the trauma that our body goes through, because they are traumas, guys. Like if your wife has easy like what is it, like births, you guys are lucky. But I mean, they still have hormone changes after.
You still go through a trauma.
But there is moms that, and it's still a trauma, guys. Having a baby.
There's some moms that just get their stuff ripped through giving birth. Like, or they... Not too much info, but obviously well, it was just Julian, huh?
Yeah, it was just Julian.
It wasn't a rip, that was a tear.
It was a tear. Yeah, I was like, I didn't rip.
And there's some doctors that they have to like use scissors.
Yeah, my mom had to get that done from me. Because you
were so small when you were
I was
born.
very small, but I was in a ball form.
That's right.
So I didn't come out, like, how babies come out legs first. Oh, no, sorry, head first.
Oh, they're supposed to come out head first.
Yeah, head first, and then the rest of the body, right? Just kind of slips out.
So does this mean technically I wasn't a natural birth? Oh my goodness.
I thought you weren't a natural
birth. Por eso. Like,
yeah, you were C-section.
I know it was C-section, but now that I think about it, it's like So technically, was I born or not?
You're so stupid.
These are high thoughts now.
Yeah,
Because if you think about it, it's
you're
like
still living in an alternate reality.
No,
you're
I mean,
not really here.
not
This is all
not
in
like
your
that, but
head.
it's like
You're in the Matrix.
technically I was.
I mean, we're all in the Matrix.
Technically,
but
I was taken from my mom's womb, not really birthed.
you're too tired, honey.
Dun, dun, dun.
You need to go to sleep. But
I know I was kind of falling asleep.
yeah, I had to kick him in the knee. I'm like, dude, we're not even halfway. Wake up.
I know.
And
I mean, I did
so-
sleep 3 hours.
I did too.
You slept an extra hour, so 4.
See what I mean? There we go. With the reproches. Reproches.
How's that a reprocho?
Well, you slept another hour.
But see? I mean, obviously,
I feel like that was shade
it wasn't.
for me sleeping longer.
No. You always sleep longer.
So yeah.
This, like I said, this girl can sleep.
Yeah, I can sleep, guys. I have no
Man.
problem. I will sleep.
There has been some times where it's just like
Where there's an earthquake, I will wake up on an earthquake. But we're like the
no,
kids.
there's like sometimes where like I go to work, come back, make food. I think I go to work again because it's like super early in the morning, and then she's barely waking up.
Well, he leaves
Like,
like at
that's-
5 in the
like,
morning and
that's
comes
not-
back at
that's-
7.
That's
And I'm
cool.
like, he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, you were gonna go
like
drop
I can't
off.
even sleep. I can't sleep that long. Like
That
that's
sounds like a
crazy.
personal
No,
issue.
it's not an issue. I'm just saying like that's crazy.
No, I know.
Yeah. It's
But
cool though.
I
It's
am
like a cool
blessed.
superpower. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it
she's
is.
always well rested, unless Eliana starts kicking her.
Yeah, she. I don't know if anybody's kid have this habit of when they're teething, they like wake up in the middle of the night and they just scream,
Mm-hmm.
like
Or
and they
or
start
what is it
kicking.
with Julian was the growth spurts.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God, he would say my legs, and he would like touch his legs and like scream.
it was intense.
So
It was intense.
things like that are not for
And
the
it was
weak.
just him, which is weird.
It was scary. In that
Yeah.
moment, I felt mom guilt that I was like, should I take him?
Mhm.
Like, and I didn't, right? And then the next time would happen, I'm like, maybe I should. Like, what if it's something serious, you know? And eventually we asked, Eric has a uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He's a doctor in Mexico.
Cool, yeah.
One of those good doctors, right?
He's retired now. But
He's
yeah.
retired, but
We still
still
ask him
a great
questions.
good, huh?
We still ask him questions.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh no, like this is normal. Like that's normal. Like those are growing pains."
Yeah,
and I'm
it's
like,
basically he said just start massaging his
Yeah.
feet right before bed.
and I'm like, those are like torture pains because he
Mhm.
sounds like. I mean, Julian's always been a little more extra when he's in pain, but I'm like, that's intense. Like people are
then
gonna think we're beating him up or
that
something.
goes to the parenting part because
And he would be like, no, he's fine. And I'm like, no, like there's probably something wrong with him, you know. And he's like, no, you're gonna be fine. But like I said, it's just that emotions of like, you know, what if I'm not doing the what is necessary for my kid to feel better? And it's probably, like I said, he was okay and he was gonna be okay, but
yeah, I mean,
I was
Juliana
blowing
at
on
least. With Juliana at least, she would baby him a lot more when it came to like.
well, yeah,
when
he
he
was
would
my
get her.
first.
I know. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying though. So that's why when you said that he's a little bit more extra, that's more of the reason.
Mhm.
Like Iker, I mean, I had to really like kind of buckle down a little bit and be like, hey, like baby, like you can't be so like soft on them, like because you're gonna make them soft. And obviously, I'm not the hardest, but I'm obviously not soft
You're just
at all
very
either.
disciplinary.
Yeah, just because it's like I know like if we're not hard on them, then life's gonna be hard on them, and how do you want them to
and
learn?
I mean, obviously, I understand that now.
Mhm. No, well, that's what I'm trying
Because
to
like
say.
I said,
yeah,
we
that's
all
what
grow, we
Mhm.
all like learn, and it was a learning process of getting through that sense and having to not feel like I was alone in this journey,
Mhm.
which I'm not. And obviously, the more I joined different communities of moms talking about it, I googled it, I read about it, I read books, I read of blogs about it, where I'm like, oh, okay, like it is normal, you know. And so, and obviously sometimes
the Michael Jackson song, what? You are not alone.
Oh my god,
I'll be there for
so you start to make that sense of, okay, and then you start talking to moms, you start gathering yourself or surrounding yourself with moms that are going through the same, right? And it's like, okay, like even though I have 4 kids now, I feel like I need moms that have girls, like, because I don't know how to navigate Eliana. I don't know. I'm learning how to navigate a girl with hormones.
Which is funny because there's like sometimes where she gets like intense, and then where Eliana gets intense, and I'm like, baby, like, how would you want to be reacted to? How would, and
what? What?
It's like, you're a girl, like, how would you want to be spoken to? Like, you know, this is your daughter, like, how would they make you feel better?
But the thing is that I wasn't used to that. Like, I wasn't used to having to navigate that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm learning. And I'm
that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the example. Like, I would bring up. Like, obviously you didn't know how to navigate it, but that's why I was like, you know what? Let me see if that would help. Like, how would you want to be treated? You know?
Yeah.
Because obviously I wouldn't know. I mean, I'm not a girl, you know. So. But
you, like I said, you start to understand that. So, yeah, moms out there, get your community, get your girls that are gonna be the ones, you know, because obviously at the same time you can't always depend on everybody that is a mom. So know who to talk to.
Everybody has their own responsibilities and
their own idealisms.
Yeah, like, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You know, not everybody will think the same. So, and it's okay to not think the same. I totally respect that too. But, you know, respect when I don't think like you either, you know, because that's what the world is about. But yeah, always put God first. Yeah. Especially if you bring that to the table where it's like, no, God is the way to go. You will start to see that shift and change in your life. And I think, like, you as a dad too, you know, you put God, I feel like maybe God is like your best friend, and you go from that, and you navigate in that sense, right, too, like, and that's how you've learned to parent your kids through all of this. So at the end of the day, most parents are trying their best while carrying more pressure than people realize, right? Like, and I think it's true, like, we are carrying so much pressure on a daily basis, you in your way, me in my way. But I think, like, at the end of the day, we start to create that community, that sense of, like, let's talk about it. You guys go on social media, talk about it, ask questions. Like, literally social media, like, we have this such bad misconception about social media where it's like, oh, it's everything's negative, it's because everything's so polished. Yeah, because nobody's fucking talking about the real shit out there. Be that one person that goes out there and talks about real life, real situations, real problems. You want, it's like, what is it, you want the change, but you won't be the change. Like, help be the change, you know.
What's the I forgot who said it. Was it Gandhi? Be the change you want to see in the world.
So it's like, don't think of social media as your enemy. Like, social media is free therapy, guys, if you use it right. Block the people that want to be negative Nancy's or want to be trolls. Just block them, and then create your community. Talk to people. And that's why we created this space of Our Lovely Chaos, because we want to talk to parents. We want to get to, you know other parents and their experience and how they've been dealing with parenting. And like, you know, even though we have an 11-year-old, we have also 7 and a 5 and a 2, and they're all gonna have a different story. And I just you know, and I want to be able to get enlightened by others and how they navigated every child differently. You know, it's like, okay, well, you navigated this one, but now we're off to the next one, you know. And it's like I said, you never stop navigating it, but like now you're learning, okay, now he's creating his own persona. Now he's creating that. How do we help him navigate that? You know, and then the next one happens, and there's a point where they're all going to be going through like the same, you know, personal growth, and
Yeah.
like how do you deal with 4 children going through all personal growth and like not go cray cray as a parent, you know?
Seriously.
So like I said, create your community. This is why we made our lovely chaos. So we're here to create this community and, you know, show each other love, show each other support, talk about subjects like this. And so
don't forget to ask your questions.
Yeah, don't forget to ask your questions, leave comments, send us a DM, follow us on YouTube, guys, because that's another place you guys can hear us. And
yeah, it seems like obviously we posted to Spotify too, but I think YouTube it's where
most of you guys are listening more on YouTube than on Spotify,
so
which I'm very thankful for that. But can you also hit the subscribe button or the follow button on Spotify? It does not cost anything, guys. Just press it. Yeah. Just go on there. You won't even realize that we're there or not. I mean, now you will, because soon you will see us doing bigger things.
Like so far, we've been putting out an episode every Friday.
Yeah, you will find us here no matter how tired we are, no matter what the situation is. Doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's sunny outside, we are gonna be here. If there's kids in the house right now, there's no kid. Well, there's only Eliana, but our kids.
But for the most part, we do it after they fall asleep.
Yeah, but you will see us here, and we won't stop until we create such a big community with our lovely chaos, because it is the beauty. There is beauty in chaos. Yeah. And that's it, guys. So, till next time. And thank you for being here with us tonight. Bye.
Bye.